I am trying to get the computer to come up. Give me just a minute, please. Chris, hello, Chris. Chris says hi. I'm trying to get the computer going. Give me just a second. I'll try to read it off my phone until it comes up. The does nothing specials. Waving, hello. Weather's bad, so it makes the computer slow as crap. It will eventually pull up, maybe, I hope. Does nothing special. Says yes, it sucks. The driveway to my shop is a swamp. Yeah, it's been raining. Chester said we've got it. His rain gauge is broke, but we've probably got at least 2 inches. Said it forgot to dump it out, and all the rain when it got real cold froze and broke his rain gauge. But every week, every day that goes by, that's one more day closer to springtime. So I know we got a lot to do, that's for sure. Does nothing special. So I'm glad I got the frame into the shop before it started. Yeah, that's thank God nothing of mine was outside. I really made a mess. G says let's see. Well, you're lucky I can't click on it, but thank you for your comment, 4122. Probably gonna click off, see if I can click it back on. It's definitely got me see Pinnacle said let's see what we got. Pinnacle said, good afternoon, I'm from the UK. How are you feeling today, my man? I'm doing great, hope you are. Natalie says, I had a pretty awesome mushroom. I don't know what that is, but okay. Pinnacle said, hi, hello. What in God's name is taking this thing so? Does nothing special. Said, I pulled the transmission and quickly found out the nuts were missing on the motor mounts. Oh no. John Deere said, what's up, Randy? Hello, John Deere. I don't want to have to click off and try it again, but this thing definitely not coming up. Natalie said, you don't know what let's see, you don't know what. No, I do not. I've never heard of. If I've heard of it, I've not noticed the name. Henry says, hi, I'm back. Hello, Henry. Does nothing special. Said I was going to pull the engine today, but did it last night. Awesome. But going back to your question, I'm sure that if somebody said it, or if I realize what it is, but the word you got spelled out there, no, I don't know what it is. I'm going to try to go this on my phone and restart it, see if it will go back on the computer. Let's see. Now, says I was Tripping balls, dude. That was a fancy word for seeing shit. Illusion. Oh, yes, I know what it is now. You saying that? Yes. Hallucinating. Yes, I know what that is. Sorry. See, I've never seen it spelled out, so I do know what you're talking about. Yes, that makes it a lot easier. Put it in dumbed down English. I've never, I've never seen it spelled out, so that's why. Chosen said, "Do you think everything you've ever did was worth it?" I try to. If I do it, it's worth it. John Deere said, "Your family ain't here tonight." Nope, I'm solo. Uh, Jacob said, "Hi, best buddy. Start painting like a dog." Yeah, whoops. John Deere said, "There are two Jacobs in here." That's right. My internet's so damn bad, I don't know what in the God's name I'm going to be able to do. John Deere said, "I'm having internet issues also." Well, thank God it's not just me. But I got it on the phone and I got it on my work phone, but it will not come up on the computer. All right, let's see. I got the chat to come back up, but the picture won't, so I'll just go by 8 people in here, 12 thumbs up. I'll just read the chat and hopefully something it'll clear out before long. See, Fly says ex-wife sent me here. Cool. See, Annie said, "Do you like tomato soup?" I do. I do like tomato soup. Jane said, "Hi, Fly." Hello, Jane. Jane said, "Hi, Annie, and hi, Pops." Fly says, "Hi, Jane." 6 people in here, 13 thumbs up. Elevator said, did you have a two sons?" I've got 3 sons. Randy, Stephen, and Justin. Randy and Justin, you'll see here. Stephen is in South Dakota, so he's 20 hours away from me. $11 people, 13 thumbs up. AM Cop says, what do you now about Iran?" I think Iran's a great place. Don't know anybody personally, but hey, everything's good. Let's see. Daryl says, "Hey Randy, I came in your live as you closed out." Oh, I'm sorry, Daryl. We had Chester and Hurley was here. Kind of one of them deals where they was there. It's time for the race, so I went ahead and ended it. Fly said he must be good. Daniel said, "Happy Sunday, everyone." That's right, Daniel. Happy Sunday to you too. Kevin said, "Brother, I'm here for you. Trust me, I'm here." I trust you. Hope you trust me. Jane said, "Hi, Daryl," and "Hi, Daniel." 12 people in here, 14 thumbs up. My picture's coming up, and it looks like it's froze. But I got my phone, so. Whoop, let's see. Whoop. I got to. Whoop. Well, I got up and then messed it up. Anyway, Daryl said, Jane said, hi, Kevin. Fly says, never trust. Kevin said, brother, I always trust you no matter what. Always will. Olivia says, hi, hi. Daryl says, 45 minutes tonight. Jane said, hi, Olivia. And Daryl said, go sleep. I thought I had it, and then I tried to catch it up, and it left. So I'm looking at a black screen still. Olivia said, hey, Mac and Jane. I can't stand this weather. I hate cold. I don't like rainy. And then all this messes up the internet. Shh. Kevin said, but I will never trust Bugs Bunny. Man, Bugs Bunny told me he really liked you, Kevin. But Bugs Bunny trusts you, Kevin. Let's see. Olivia says, I love rain. Greg says, hello to Dilly and whoever that is. In that. Oh, I got you. You're funny, Greg. Jane said, Greg, grow up. Yep. You feel good about yourself, Greg. Greg said, thanks, man. Have a nice day. You too, Greg. I appreciate your stupid comment, but hey, it helped out. Fly said, God always betrays, but the Creator does not. Okay. Kevin said, my dog is crying in the corner because I won't give him my chicken bones. Jane said, Lord, he must feel like a big guy. Yeah. He feels important, don't he? Randy says, I want to tell everyone that the weather is bullshit. Everything hurts. I am limping and I can't hardly stand. F this weather. Jane said, Jordan, what the hell? And Jordan Davis said, what? Someone said, hi, Greenland, hello. Man, this thing's about to get on my damn nerves. Why in the world will it not pick up? Let's see. Fly says, never blow to a Leighton Jesus. Jane said, I saw you limping today on the Breakfast Live. That was actually after the lunch hour, lol. Michelle says, look, your dog looks sad. He likes to come in here and lay down and be lazy. Olivia said, can you say, hey, Bubba Bubba, like you're talking to a baby? Hey, Bubba Bubba. Jane said, welcome, Greenland. Randy says, Lord, yeah, Jane, I am hurting today. Fly says, AI Bobble, okay. 18 people in here, 18 thumbs up. Let's see. Red said, free Israel. Well, I let them go, and they said it was raining too hard. They just come in here, and we had a big old breakfast and lunch, and they seem to enjoy it here. They're not, I don't have them locked up. They just seem to hang out. Olivia says, Lord, Evan actually does respond to you. Jordan Davis says, TBH, we think you are in NPC/AI. Okay. Red's laughing. Jane said, Fly, no politics, no religion. People, 18 thumbs up, 16 minutes into it. We doing good. Except for the internet. Internet sucks. Let's see. Jordan says, anyone else straight AI vibes? I hate the internet's not working right. Right, click on see what kind you got going on. Fly said nobody ever crossed the U.S. Olivia said nope. Randy says, Addie says hi. Hello, Addie. Jane says it's slow tonight. It was beautiful here today. I actually felt like cleaning. It's been raining bad here, Jane. I hope it gets gone tonight so it's not like that tomorrow. I ain't even asked what the weather is. Jane said hi, Addie. See, Jordan Davis says, hey, now let's not get personal, Mr. AI. What did I say wrong? What did I say wrong there, Mr. Jordan Davis? Mr. Davis, what did I say wrong? I just said I'd click on yours to see what kind of channel you got, but my internet's not going good. I mean, you're getting personal calling me AI, aren't you? Why is it fair one way and not the other? Come on now, get with the program. Fly said the U.S. never bows, sorry. Olivia said, Holden Evan isn't helping my case. Jane said, Jordan, what's going on in your life? Anything fun or interesting? Yeah, tell us about yourself. What you got going on? Jane, you hear that? I hear a bunch of crickets. Said, I didn't mean it in a bad way. I have nothing against AI. In fact, I love AI. Well, I can promise you it's not AI. Randy said, looks like they post about fake wrestling. I mean, the fake. Oh, Olivia said, oh, wait, is that your mama calling you to dinner, Jordan? 16 people, 19 thumbs up. Randy said, Eddie says it is Grandma Day. Fly says, boom, 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 boom. Jane said, Fly, come on. If you aren't going to get off politics, then we may need to excuse you from this stream. Jordan says, yes, sorry, my mom just called me for dinner. Hold on, I have to go upstairs because I'm in her basement. Olivia says, damn. Olivia says, he understood the assignment. Yes, he did. I like it. That's pretty cool, Davis. Jordan. 13 people, 20 thumbs up, 19 minutes into. That's cool. Let's see. Little for live mama. It says, if you ever think I wish you were here, nah, I wish you were beer. There you go. Fly said, is that what is acceptable to you? Jane said, Lord Jordan, please get out of the basement. What's for dinner? Olivia said, much respect, Jordan. Lowell. Fly says, can you endure? Stupid thing won't go. Oh, did it load? I think it just loaded. Yep, just loaded. Let's see. Fly's got a cue. Olivia says, I don't know. Annie and Sherry are cooking tonight. After you bullied Sherry, you better be careful. Jane said, Fly, say something interesting. Mama says, taking a sip for you. Thank you. Jane said, Jordan's mama made dinner. 11 people in here, 21 thumbs up. Uh, Jordan Davis said, Mom, spaghetti. All right, I like spaghetti. Olivia said, Boggy should be careful. Jay said, how's Sherry feeling? I'm saying Sherry, I think it's Cherry. Sorry. Olivia said he actually pissed her off today. Oh, hell. Jane said, and meatballs? Yeah, is that spaghetti got meatballs? Fly said, well, I slow cooking my ribeye steak with pecan widow. That sounds good. Mama says, thoughts on reincarnation? I don't know. I will say this: if dogs can reincarnate, that dog right there is my old dog 7. They just as dumb. I love him to death. He's cool as hell, but he is dumb as a box of rocks. Punisher said, Mommy, Dad? Question mark. Punisher said, Grandpa, Mama. Fly said, Wood. Jane said, Fly, that sounds yummy. Olivia said, she says she's okay. Pop sure saying it right. Okay. Punisher said, Dad, Mom, Dad. D, 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 D. Olivia said, it seems exhausting though and sore. Jane said, Punisher, stop. Daryl said, Punisher, stop. If you want to type, but don't do that spamming shit. 14 people in here, 21 thumbs up. The time is now past the lights. Oh, well, maybe we'll catch up. Let's see. Fly says apple pie is awesome, too, with pecan smoke. Mama says ain't nothing wrong with the spare sack of hammers. Olivia says I don't blame her, though, Evan. It's a big baby. Jane said fly. I never had that, but sounds good. It does sound good. $13 people, 23 thumbs up. We caught it, but it took ahead. See, Daryl says no politics or religion. Fly says I grew up in the fields. Let's see. Jordan said, what's the dog's name? The dog's name's Kane. Mama said, sir, fry on the stove right now. Stir fry on the stove right now. James said, what fields? Sir says, we been watching you, old man. Just be careful next time you outside. I can get dangerous for you, fool. I know, right? Libby said, yeah, the only religion we talk about is car religion. Peter says, you like Trump? We don't do politics or religion or controversial subjects. Chelsea, is that right? Says hello. Hello, Chelsea. I hope I said that right. Jane said, Ryan, you aren't threatening him, right? Hate to report you. Fly said, I used to ride a 10-speed bicycle on gravel roads. 17 people in here, 24 thumbs up, 25 minutes in. I like getting a like per minute. That's cool. We catching up, running good. Jordan said, Ryan, we will verbally tear you to shreds if you stay in this chat with that kind of attitude. Muhammad, something like that, said, which guitar would you like most? Electric guitar, acoustic guitar, or I don't know much about guitars. I like them for different reasons. I would love to learn how to play them, but I don't know nothing about them. But I do like the electric one. Olivia said, oh, it's Dino nuggets and mashed potatoes with chicken gravy. Fly says challenges never keep up. Jane said, Muhammad's I don't know how it said, acoustic guitars are nice. I like that word. I can't say it good, but I think I know what you're talking about. Jordan says, acoustic guitar for me. Sir, retracting up. Daryl got him. What'd you do? What'd you say, stupid? Oh. Okay, sir. If you need money, come on and get it. Step on over here. Walk on over here. You may limp back, but walk on. Olivia said, amen. Jordan. Daryl says, F off, run. Olivia said, Pop-Pops, can we keep the Jordan? Yeah, he ain't bothered me so far. Let's see. Jane said, really, Ryan? Jordan make him get out of the mama's basement. Daryl says, not in the mood, not in the mods for, not in the moods for dickheads. Mom said, do you know Epstein files? Please explain. I don't get into it. I think it's stupid. I think they're trying to get. They're not doing nothing but getting your mind away from it. But I don't even fool with them. Don't even care. Fly says, All American, can you do anything that All American can do anything that me? Yeah. Olivia said, yes. Your man, Kool-Aid, said, what's your favorite type of vacation? At the car track. Jordan Davis said, Ryan, you need to be more like me and see the light in life. It's time to log off World and Warcraft and go upstairs for a little bit. I touch grass. So can you. Dylan, I think it is. Trump is a Jewish puppet, or whatever you say. Olivia said, you don't think I ever seen Matt curse? James said, thanks, Jordan. Daryl says, I don't take threats lightly, Ghostly. Annie says, do you have Oreos? I'm out. Sorry. Fly said, I never had a vacation. 16 people, 24 thumbs up. I'm actually out of, only thing I got right now is you see the Ritz back there. Let's see, Amber says, hello, hope all is well. It is, hope it is for you, Amber. Fly said, pure American. Olivia said, that's respectable. Boggy doesn't take threats lightly either. Jane said, hi, Amber. I think they're just full of shit. They just more computer warriors. They don't bother me. I'm sure at some point I should worry about it, but don't bother me. Let's see. Jane said, Amber. Olivia says, ooh. Do we need to DoorDash you more snackies? Yeah, I need to get some, that's for sure. Fly said, work my ass off for all I have. Me too, Fly. I have worked my ass off. And so is Randy to get where we're at today. Kevin said, there is no one like you. You're right about that. Randy runs a close second, but that's it. Your man Kool-Aid said car track is cool. Did you have any cars you wish you'd never got rid of? Yes. 62 Chevy Impala. I had a 93 Chevrolet pickup truck, 355 speed. I wish I'd have kept it. Jane said, can we actually report those? Sounds like they are actually making threatening comments. Yeah, I think you can, but like I said, he just trying to be funny. He ain't watching me. Daryl said, yes, Jane. Annie says, have you ever put Oreos in ice cream? I have not. McRose said he's gay. He's gay 4 times. I thought one time you're gay, you're always gay. Oh, well. Macron 1406 is gay then, I guess. He 4 times over. Fly said, miss my 70 Chevelle. Olivia says, can I say I'll work to make my stuff look pretty? Yes, you can. Jane said, Macron is gay. Congratulations, Macron. Macaron, whatever you call it. Jane said, that's not funny to make threats. Nope. Jordan said, Macaron, we are so proud of you. Daryl said, he has been reported, Jane. Jordan Davis says, we are proud of you for choosing this channel to come out. And there you go. Your man Kool-Aid says, I had a 1969 Oldsmobile 98 convertible with a 455 rocket. I wish I'd never got rid of. Both of them are cool. I would like to see them. Jane said, thanks, Daryl. Fly said, my 89 Trans Am was cool too. Yeah. 12 people, 26 thumbs up. Olivia said, Oreos and ice cream is a heart attack, but a good reason to have one. Oh, yeah. Jane said, Jordan, you fit right in. Yes, he does. Mike Rose, just loving the gay sound. Jordan Davis said, I'm enjoying my stay. Olivia said, Jordan, can we be friends? Jordan said, yes. Randy said, wish I would have kept my 89 IROC, but got us where we are now. Yes. That would have been a good car for us to get going here, but it did start us on the route we're on right now. JH says, hi. Life's themes waving. Macro says, you are reading like a 9-year-old, I swear. Well, whatever you say. If you don't like it, leave. If you like it. If you can do any better, I'll give you an address, you go read. Or, I got a better idea, you do a live and you read your comments. Libby said yes. Macro said he's still gay. Jay said, hey, Ghostly. Daryl said, Mark Rose, stop. Olivia said, hey, JH7. Jordan Davis said, Micro, you're roasting like a 9-year-old. Mike says, hello, everyone. Or hi. Jane said, who is life's theme? I don't know, Jane. JH says, how are you, Ghost / Sweetheart? Daryl said, Mike. Rumple said, hello again, Pops. Hello, Rumple. Jane said, Rumple said, hello, Jane. Daryl said, Rumple. Rumple said, Metal Arts, hello. Jane said, hi, Rumple. Olivia said, no, Jordan is acting like a 9-year-old. Life's theme says, a friend. John said, hi. Rumple said, Long Wrench Garage. Hello. Jordan says, I'm 7, so I'm acting mature for my age. Mike says, hi, Daryl. Olivia says, JH, have you thought of buying used Hot Wheels? Randy said, life is our friend, and he is nice to me, unlike the real life. Jane said, life's theme is blue. Just wondered. Mike says, hi, Jane, Rumple, and Olivia. Jane said, Jordan acts older than 9. Olivia said, I'm doing good. Randy said, hey, Mike. Yeah, Life has come in here before. We don't see him that often, but every once in a while. I think him and Randy's had some good conversations. Jane said, Jane said, hi, JH. Jordan said, thank you, Jane. JH says, yes, I actually bought used Hot Wheels once from someone. I went with my parents and did that once. It was fun. JH said, hi, Jane. Nice sunset picture. Mike said, hi, R3. Olivia said, sorry, I screwed it up. Rumple said, Hot Wheels. I got 2 Hot Wheels. I had loads of, but lost them. Most of them, yeah, I had a bunch of them. Argos says, how do you feel about all the pedos in D.C.? I don't pay no attention to them. I don't go to D.C. Have a nice day. He said, please be honest. When is the last time you said the N-word? I try to tell everybody every day not to be negative. Jane said, thanks, JH. So I use negative all the time, telling everybody to be positive. Don't be so negative. Jane said, thanks, JH. Life's theme says, drop. Rumple says, hello, Randy Jr. Jane says, hi, Mike. Randy says, hey, Rumple. Olivia says, I meant no, Jordan, Marco, us acting like a 9-year-old. Life's Theme says, drop in from time to time to see what's up. Say hi. Well, we do appreciate it. Jordan said, ha ha. I was wondering how I got the smoke. Poppy said, what's up, boss man? I haven't been I've been busy. We understand. Um, White Girl Magic said, race and IQ question. Which parents' genes does it say has strong influence on the IQ of offspring? Also, which race on average scores highest on IQ tests, SATs, and ACTs? I have no idea. Jane says, hi, Papi. Have a nice day. He says, did you just admit to using the N word every day? Yeah, negative. Did you not hear me? Negative starts with an N. That's the only negative word I use. Daryl said, y'all are going to flip over the next member video. I have half of it made now. I'll finish it this week. Cool. Jordan said, sorry, Jordan. I only got S thumbs and half fried brain. So scary, spooky, freaky says, I'm not going to heaven with you. Jordan said, same skull, sorry. White Girl Magic said, which part does it say genes are highly expressed in the frontal lobe? I have no idea. You're asking way too intense questions. You're thinking way too much into shit, I think. Jane said, white girl, wrong channel. Yeah. Show me on this doll where we give a damn about those questions. White girl said, there is a parent whose genes have stronger genetic influence on the child's IQ, and there's a whoop. I guess whatever you said, Daryl didn't want to hear it no more. Scary Spooky said, white girls love sex animals, alright. Rumple said, wake up, Kane. I see a ghost staring at you. Have a nice day. So do you own a Confederate flag? I do not. 22 people, 33 thumbs up. I don't think I would really buy a Confederate flag. I don't see no reason in it. The only Confederate flag I would really want is on top of the General Lee if I ever owned one. I would love to have one. James said, obnoxious trolls. Yeah. Don't let them get to you, Jane. If they get to you, they win. Don't let them win. Rumble said, what's for lunch, Pops? Or was that cookout lunch? That's probably going to be lunch. I will eat some of the leftovers. That's probably all I'll eat today. Life's Theme says, not a fan of all the trolls. Sorry you guys got to deal with all that. It's the more they push us out, the more the trolls come in. So, it's one of those deals where you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. And some trolls come around and want to be a part of it, and some of them are not. So, Daryl says they are vulgar tonight. 19 people, 34 thumbs up. Like I said, don't let them upset you. Life says, just made some beef salad for my kids. Was a good time. Jordan Davis said, think about it like this. Thought the more people trolls, the more engagement your channel is getting. Therefore, the more it is shown. That's right. That's what I'm saying. If you let them get to you, they win. Don't let them upset you. If it gets too bad, I'll just quit reading the comments. Said, Block Boys said, fart in the mic. I don't know why y'all like to hear farts. I think it's pretty disgusting myself, but some of y'all must have the wrong end of situation on your mind. Life says, can't go wrong with steak. You exactly right. Rumble says, hey, at least you guys can counter them, but I do that I'll probably get shadow ban happen a lot of times. Yeah. Daryl says, we can handle it a lot when it comes to trolls, but some things shouldn't be discussed. I like turning it around on them. I like a lot of people come in here and do the gay stuff. We turn it back, and then when everybody starts jumping on and saying congratulations to the ones that say the gay stuff, I think it's funny. I enjoy it because it's turning it back on them, and if you go with it, they have no fun with it. So they either hang around and start talking, or they just leave. So what you got to do is you got to take the oxygen away from them so the fire don't burn. And I think it's pretty funny. Rumble said, I do like witty trolls. Life theme said facts. Because if you delete them and time them out and everything, like I said, some stuff is wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you delete them, as soon as they're deleted, they're just telling their friends, hey, I got these guys. I pissed them off. Don't let them win. Life said not so much with the witty. Yeah. Block Boy said, no, I'm not. Block Boy, I appreciate the comment. You're welcome in here, but I'm not going to keep reading stupid comments like that. John Jones said that's racist, so if you think so, you're the one that's got the problem, not me. John Davis said, bro, Block Boy, chill. And then said, that's wild. Y'all do realize, just for shits and giggles, y'all do realize a fart is shit particles flying through the air. So, you going to fart on your hand and have shit particles all on your hand? I just don't agree with it. John says, why did you say that about black people? I believe you're trying to get me to say something I haven't said. So, get real. Life's theme said, Block Boys said, boxers block the particles. If you can smell it, it ain't blocked it. Life theme says, yeah, no. Rumble said, it is still snowy and cold pops. Question mark, for how long? Question mark, it's already getting a bit hot down here. Well, the snow's gone. We had a lot of rain today, probably 2 inches of rain. And it's been chilly, not really cold, but it's been chilly. So I'm hoping we're kind of pulling out of it. I think we got about 5 more weeks of winter, so I'm kind of hoping we've got over the big thing that starts. I know it's getting daylight longer, so that's a positive. Life said, no snow here. Well, like I said, it was beautiful. It's been a long time since we've seen 16 or 16 and a half inches of snow, so it was beautiful. It came, it gone, good riddance. Put it in the history books and let it go. Life says, Utah is crazy. I've mowed my lawn for the first time throughout the winter. Wow. Life said 35 years, never seen this. Kevin said, you're the best person to exist on the planet, brother. Well, thank you, Kevin. One thing's for sure, as long as Kevin's here, I'll have positive feed towards me. He knows how to make somebody feel good. I don't think Kevin's ever had any negative thing to say about me. I like that. Dale said, I mowed on Christmas many years ago. Olivia said, this baby is putting me to sleep. Russian said, I don't do that if I were you. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Why not? What's your thought process? Rumble said, I thought snow kind of killed the lawn. Doesn't it become limp or brownish? I think snow kind of helps it, don't it? I don't really know. Russian fighter says, I wouldn't do that. Again, elaborate and tell me what I wouldn't do if I was you or if you were me. Olivia says, you want to hold the baby pops? No. It's kind of weird. My kids, it never bothered me to hold my kids. Addie, it really didn't bother me to hold Addie, but now Allie, I don't know what it is, but I'm scared I'll drop her. I mean, I hold her, don't get me wrong, and I've never about dropped her, but I'm scared to death I'm going to drop that baby. And I've never been scared of dropping a baby before. Life said, no snow, though. Kevin said, you are a man of your world? Yes. Olivia says, why not? I just don't care to hold no babies other than my grandbabies. Russia said, I wouldn't fart because you could be poop. Now I got you. You're exactly right. You ever push one out, eventually there's going to be shit. Jane said, cold makes grass dormant, it doesn't kill it. Olivia says, you won't drop Evan, he doesn't really wiggle. Yeah, but I just don't really get attached to it. Now, like I said, my grandkids are different, but I really don't care to hold babies, especially if they're not mine or my grandbabies. Life says, we get crazy snow every winter except for this one. Jane said, Russian, grow up. Rumple said, Jane, oh, so it regrows later. That's cool. Russian's laughing. Jane said, yes, Rumple, it comes back when weather warms up. 14 people in here, 36 thumbs up. Kevin said, what's your opinion on this emoji? What is that? Somebody writing with a pencil? That's pretty cool. Olivia says, but he's kind of your grandbaby. No. Well, I guess you're about right. But I'll leave it to you. Life says that's a valid worry. Carlos said, what's up, y'all, pops? Whoop, whoop. Hello, and he also said chat. Daryl put the, looks like me and Randy emoji. It's hard for me to see these little things. Jane says, hi, Carlo. Rumple says, hey, big boys, hello. Lotus says, what's your opinion on this emoji? I like it. Hello, Lotus. Carlos showed a couple emojis, and Daryl's got big. And Lotus says, hello, hello. Berm says, cute dog, thank you. Rumble says, hello, Lotus. Jane says, hey, Lotus. Olivia said, fine, he's my baby. You got this, baby. You got this, Olivia. You're the woman, I guess you could say. Life says, what have you been building lately? We are working on my burnout car, trying to get the electric power steering on it and a alternator on it. I got to build a bracket for the bottom of it. Carlos said, what's up, Daryl? Lotus said, Jane. What's up, Olivia? And what's up, Daryl? Olivia said, Lotus. Lotus says, hey, Carlo. Carlo said, what's up, Lotus? Berm says, what do you do for a living? I work for the railroad. I'm a track inspector. And we got this shop. We do sell wheels, tires, and dabble in exhaust. Daryl said, Lotus. Lotus said, what's up, Rumple? Rumple said, this is my favorite emoji. Combo pops. Yeah. Life says, yeah. I approve. Bernie says, nice. Staying off the grid said, gay bearded homosexual. Well, there's another one that's coming out. Welcome to the coming out party. Staying off the grid. Olivia said, my sister's cat is a terror. Olivia said, Rob gave me a drive shaft for the burnout car now to get it cut down. Cool. Maria said, nice shirt. Well, thank you, Maria. Life says, burnouts are dope. I like them. Carlos said, Lotus, did you completely time out only last night. Carlos says, hello, Maria. Twisted said, good evening, everyone. Hello, Twisted. Daryl said, Dennis. 19 people, 39 thumbs up. Dennis said, Daryl. Jane said, Dennis. Daryl says, I'll cut it down myself. Oh, really? That's cool. Maria says, when are you going to clean the office? When are you going to clean your room? Jane says, hi, Maria. Life's waving. Lotus said, Pops, you have to stop being so damn handsome, drawing in all the gays. I know, right? Maria said, hello, Jane. Olivia says, Mike, how close is Little Bird to being done? Twisted said, Jane. Lotus said, it was probably Pimp Carlo. Dennis said, Maria. Maria said, I cleaned my room today. All right, well, I'm not cleaning the office today. Twisted said, Randy Sr. Hello, Dennis. Olivia said, hey, Lotus. Life says, I'm going to head out, headed back to the case. Good to see everyone. See you, Life. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Jane said, Lord Lotus, is Pops a gay magnet? It's hard not to like this, Jane. Olivia said, what you up to? Carlos says, okay, Lotus. Twisted said, I'm doing laundry now, cleaning up my house yesterday. Jane said, bye, Life. Lotus said, he is Jane. See, Life's waving. Lotus says, I love him. Fifth River Rat said, the deep state answers to no laws and is above the law. Maria said, gays love him for a reason. I think it's because the bald head. RK69 said, Revolutions 21:6, Jesus declares, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give from the spring of the water of life without payment. Thank you, but we don't do religion, so I do appreciate it. I read your comment, but we don't do religion in here, but I do appreciate it. Daryl says, I'll be back shortly. All right, Daryl, I understand. Olivia said, Jane, Pop-Pop's got that hot girl summer bod, didn't you know? Lotus said, eating spaghetti, 3D printing something. I wished I could get our 3D print. I wished I had more time. But I enjoyed when I was using our 3D printer. I'm ready to get it back and do some stuff with it. 13 people in here, 40 thumbs up. Olivia says, sounds fun. I'm holding a baby. Jane said, Lord, after Pops read all that, he retracted his statement. Oh, did he? Maria says, what did you do today? I didn't do much of nothing. I cleaned up a little bit this morning. I started working on a engine rack to put the engine over on. And then we got company who will come over and watch the race. We did the live this morning, breakfast live. But after the live, we sat there and watched the race with Hurley and Chester. And then that's pretty much, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Somebody come in with a messed up tire this morning. I fixed them. They were out of town. I got them up and going and got them on the road. And then we had to fix Madison's. Both her front tires was leaking down, so we had to do that. But outside of that and working on that motor stand, just watched the race. Carlos said, palms are sweaty like mama's spaghetti. Lotus said, you could say Pops makes me and Randy. Rhea said, show us your head. Dang you. You don't want me to do that. Lily said, he's nervous fighting at this. Looks calm and ready. Jane said, Law, Lotus, right? Olivia says, I got you, Carlo. Maria is laughing. Peace. I think that's what she said. Kevin says, you are the man. He's the man. I had to put the tractor up. My feet got wet, so I got them right here at the heater trying to dry them up a little bit. Let's see. Maria says you're like this emoji, by the way. Kevin's didn't put anything. Carlos says hello, Olivia Bell with a heart. Olivia said, yeah, okay. I'm not doing it. Maria said King looks comfortable. Yeah, I think he really likes that couch. 16 people, 41 thumbs up. That's pretty good. Got over 40 in just a little bit less than an hour. I like it. Thank y'all. Let's see. Maria said, I thought dogs don't sleep that much. I think he is from Iraq. He likes to sleep a lot, kind of like Maria. Olivia says, baby senses all over my face. Sneezes, sorry. Jane said, where does King stay when your guys aren't there? He pretty much stays in the middle part of the building. I've got his cage out there and it's covered up. I was running a light when it got real cold, but the light bulb went out. I got to get another one. But he stays in the middle section of the building. Olivia says, oh, Maria says, Lord, how did you know I sleep a lot? Because you've told us. Kevin says, can we see your reaction if an elephant opened the door and started talking to you? What the hell? Oh. An elephant opened the door and started talking to me. Yeah, you'd probably see a reaction, all right. Kevin laughing. Memory says hi everyone. Hello Memory. Riz says my dad says don't you get enough sleep? You sleep a lot, but after that he goes to sleep. Jane says hi Memory. I can't sleep that much. I just feel like I got to be doing something. Lotus says, you've been eating them special gummies? Lord, no. Libby said, Pop-Pops must be in a good mood today because he's really interactive with the chat today. Maria said, Sleeping Beauty. There you go. Well, believe it or not, Maria, I was in a pretty shitty mood. I was in a good mood this morning, and I got a phone call, and I had a discussion I really don't like talking about. It's about the past. And I don't like keep reliving the past. But it took the bigger part of the day for me to get out of that shitty mood. But then when I get in here talking to you guys, it really helps me out a lot. So y'all don't know how much I appreciate it. Maria said it's because you're American. Americans work a lot. Snowman said, why do single people always give advice? I have no idea. If he knew it. Jane said he reacts because chat is slow. Olivia says, oh well, we're having fun. That's right. Late Night Skis says, are you an AI robot? No, I am not a AI robot. Rhea says, we love talking to you too. It changes our mood. That makes me feel good. Thank you. I hope it's for the better. Memory says, I bought a used car radio for 25 bucks from the 90s. I was busy installing it in my red truck. Cool. Lotus says, yeah, he isn't 30 minutes behind tonight. I know, right? Maria says, no, for the worst. Oh, man. Now, see, You just like a female trying to mess up somebody's good mood. Rug Burn says hello from Huntington Beach, California. Well, hello, Rug Burn. I'll have to write that down so I give you a pin in the world map here. Yeah, I will put you in the world map here. I'll put a pin in for you. Maria said, just kidding. Jane said, memory, does it have a cassette player in it? If it's from the 90s, Jane, you know it's got a cassette player in it. Jane says, hey, Bug Burn, you're from the beautiful area. See, Rug Burn says, where are you at? I am in Denton, North Carolina, all the way on the other side. Memory said, yes, it has a cassette player. Olivia says, I'm literally kicking clouds and he is purring. Will someone please help me? Someone help me, not please, sorry. Maria said, don't let anyone bother you. It doesn't worth it. And what I always say, that's exactly right. So if you want angel wings on your back, then do it. Carlos says, hello, Jane. Rug Burn says, thank you. Jane says, hi, Carlo. Pape said, women don't mess up a man's mood ever. Lol. My woman can't stand to see me have fun with my family or friends. I don't know of a woman that can stand a man laughing or being happy. And I'm not really trying to get on the woman bashing thing, kind of like everybody accuses us last night. But if a female sees her man laughing and enjoying it, she will put a stop to it. Rug Burn said, nice. Brian said, what did you have for dinner? All we had is brunch today. We had breakfast foods, pancakes, eggs, sausage, bacon. I think that's everything. 2 different types of sausage. Olivia says, damn cat. Jane said, Papa, she needs kicked to the curb if she doesn't want you to have fun. Maria said, yeah, because you're happy for no reason. That should be a good enough reason just to be happy. Brian said, my girl complains that I'm never happy. Jane said, Pops, listen to that. She will put a stop to it. We aren't all that way. You're exactly right. He says, let them be happy. My boyfriend is happy in another country. It's got. Probably because all he got to do is tell you he's got bad reception and hang up. Maria says, I don't know why men hate seeing women have fun too. Oh, well, let's just say this. Like Jane just said, not all men hate that. I like to see everybody have fun. I like to see people happy. I can't stand to see people mad and pissed off and everything. Libby says, as long as he still calls and says, I miss you and I love you, I'm happy. There you go. Rumpel says, huh? Patrick says, happy birthday. Olivia says, damn, pop-ups. Patrick said, hi. Hello, Patrick. I'm just playing, Olivia. Papa says, laugh my ass off. I love to see women have fun. They laugh will make me laugh. Yeah, me too. Bruno Williams says, hi from Brazil. Brazil, is that it? Brazil? Carlos says, I miss you and I love you, Olivia. There you go. See, that's all it takes. 17 people, 42 thumbs up. Olivia said, Lord Carlo. Box fan said, Sup, gang, gang, wanna bang, bang. I like it. Rumple said, what did I drop into? I don't hate watching women happy. That's something somebody said just because I said something about women not wanting men to be happy. So they tried to reverse the roles on us. Maria says, what was the call about? About something I done 30 years ago. Let's see, how old am I? 57? 36, 37 years ago. Rumple says, and I've been a guy most of my life to the best of my knowledge. Careful with that, Rumple. Somebody might think you switched genders. Olivia said, I think Kia was working on 18 at the moment, or I'll drag him into here like talking to Mall Cop. Rumple said, I'm just kidding, Pop. Sorry. I'm just playing. We got to have fun. Beers says, hello from Poland. Hello. And I didn't tell you, but Maria retracted her message for some reason. Carlos says, Carlos says, what's up, Rumple? Rumple said, big boys, hello. Pape said, oh Lord, that's another thing women don't forget about. Some 10 years ago, I did wrong like I forgot milk, and I still hear about it. Amen. Olivia says, y'all. Lotus says, what we get to talk to the great what we get to talk to the great Kyobi. Rumple said, Pape, laughing. I think it's supposed to be what? We get to talk to the great Kyobi. Awesome. I was trying to read it in the wrong emphasis. Ouch. Olivia says, yeah, I'll talk to him when he isn't sleeping or working or hanging out with his boyfriends. Ooh, that don't even sound right, Olivia. Lotus says, should we play his theme song when he comes in? Carlos says, OB, the Kyobi. Maria says, wait, you said 37 years ago, so when you were 18? Yes, I said 37, but it was when I was 19 and 20, yes. It's some things that happened a long time ago. I know that what I done affected other people, and I know they can't get over it. And I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do to change it, and it's just it is what it is. I'm not arguing over it. Let's see. Pape says, I have one question for the woman in here. There's a couple in here. Olivia said, it's a joke, Pop. It's me and pick fun when we hang out with our friends group there. Oh, okay. I got you. 19 people, 42 thumbs up. Lotus said it was the day he first shaved his head. Maria. Maria says, go on. Carlos said, Lol, Lotus, Cheeky. Maria said, how was your personality is different at that time? I let things get to me, and I was trying to make too many people happy instead of worried about my own happiness. Let's say that. Uh, Olivia says, "Oh God, LOL." Olivia's. Lowe's said, "It's all good, Randy. We can move on." Jane said, "It's a beautiful day." Lowe's said, "Now how about those burnouts?" Yeah, I'm ready for to get on the burnouts. Twist said, "Never say anything about your personal life matter ever on social media." Yes, people take things the wrong way when it gets out like that. Rumble says conservations are taking widely taken today. Yes. Jane said, "Let's talk about TMU climbing an Amazon woman." I thought that was funny. Olivia said, "Yeah, you owe us a Ford tire burnout." It is about time for a good one. We were trying to go last night, but we just did not get my car ready. Lotus says, "We can order some NDP donuts." Yeah. Twisted said, "It was 60 degrees here today, supposed to be near 70 most of the week. I hope it warms up for us. I haven't watched the weather." Maria said, "Where's your question, Pape?" Larry said, AKA a semi truck. Gary says, "Hey, NDP, how are you? I'm doing great. Hope you are, Gary." Olivia says, "Wait, what did I miss about Amazon woman?" We were just bullshitting around last night, and we was talking about Amazon women, and Justin made some type of a joke about climbing up on one, and it was funny. Let's see. I don't change the camera angle because I hide behind the comments. I try not to hide behind the comments. Pape says, "Oh, my question is, how can a woman go to bed in a decent mood and wake up the next day in a total mood? Because they have a dream that you done something wrong and they're pissed off at you." Olivia said, "What?" Maria said, "Pape, what do you mean? Is it normal?" Pape, different mood, I meant. Maria says, "Yeah, don't hide behind the comments." Yeah, I'm not, am I? I mean, I see on my phone the comments from here down. See on the computer the comments are on the side. You see the whole thing. Maria says, "Yeah, okay." DeBron said, "Dr. Pepper, thumbs up." Yeah, that's not mine. I'm out of Pepsi too. I think I had to go to a Cheerwine last drink when I was sitting there watching the race. I think Dr. Pepper, Cheerwine, and Yoo-Hoo's all we got left. Well, Randy's got some Mountain Dews. Olivia said, "I've had those dreams. Boggy usually sells my cars in those, and I wake up angry." Jane said, "Maria, you need to watch on computer." Well, I think Maria's watching in the middle of the night, so she kind of has to be quiet because the rest of the family's asleep, I believe. Lotus says, "I have a Pepsi for you. I wished I had one. I'm really wanting a Pepsi right now." Maria said, "You shouldn't see me when you shouldn't see me when I wake up. I become really angry and fight with everyone." Randy's like that. If you wake Randy up too early, Randy is in a pissed off mood. Randy will. It's not good to wake Randy up. Lotus said, "Who won the race? Did I? Let's see, who won the race? It was number 45." Olivia says, "I want a Pepsi." Lotus said, "Who won? Number 45. I can't think of his name. It was uh, Michael Jordan's car. Poppy Toyota. Poppy said that was a good race. I watched it. Reddick stole it at the end. I think it's bullshit. For them 30 laps, they rode 3 wide, just rode around the track. I'd been pissed if I'd have paid for that race." Ryan said the dog is living his best life. Yes, he's really fit in here good. C. Mills said, "Just put some barbecue sauce on my ball sack." Hey, whatever you want to do, man. Maria says, "Why don't you sleep that much?" Because I feel like if I'm in bed asleep, I can't sleep that long. And then when I wake up, I feel like I need to be doing something. And I don't want to go back to sleep. I need to get up and start my day. Lotus says, "How about Cleek finished 11 with his with a clean car?" Yeah, I thought that was cool. I hate he wrecked in the truck race though. Olivia said it was a Hoonigan Lotus. They always do. Lotus said I was rooting for Hoover. I don't know who that is, but anyway. Art says this man. Are you watching? Papa said, "Reddick won." Rest, "Oh my God, I can't live your life. I need my rest." The more you sleep, the more you want to sleep. And it just continues to get worse and worse. You got to basically get used to sleeping. If you're sleeping more than 7, 8 hours in a 24-hour period, you're sleeping way too much. Maria says, "I don't mind 10 hours of sleep every day." Good Lord, that means in a 24-hour day, you only got 14 hours. That's bullcrap. Rumble says, "I agree, Pops." Lotus says, "The older you get, the less you sleep." Which now, Lotus, I have always went to bed. I wouldn't stay up too late, but I always got up early in the morning, and if it was daylight, I was going. I can't sleep if the sun's out. When I worked a night shift and I had to sleep during the day, I had to go to the camper where it was solid dark in the camper, so I couldn't see the daylight. If I can see the daylight anywhere, I can't sleep. Now, the older I get, I can take a nap now for about 20, 30 minutes, and I feel revived, kind of like recharging your phone. But I can't just lay down and go to sleep. And I can't go to bed and do that and take a nap. It's got to be like in a chair or something. Let's see. Spy sent 100 for 2 jewels. Thank you. Maria said 10 hours of sleep and 2 hours in the live. So that's 12 hours of rest. Olivia said, "I used to sleep up to 10 to 12 hours, but that's meds pulling me under it." You're a little bit different, Maria. Olivia, I'm sorry. Matthew Ward says, "Howdy all." Hello, Matthew. These new people in here, hit the thumbs up. I got 14, 17 people, 43 thumbs up, and hadn't moved in a little while. Lotus said, "I stay up till 12 or 2 and get up 5 or 6 every morning. I usually get to bed around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I get up at 4:50 every day." Rumble says, "A manual job helps, Pop. Any desk job is a pain in the," literally, yeah. Olivia said, "So, Boggy, Lotus." Papa said, "I can't sleep more than 5 hours. That's about the way I'm at. 5 or 6 hours, that's about tops. After that, I'll wake up sore." Serge said, "Hey, man." Olivia says, "How am I different?" Well, you take a lot of medicine and stuff. I understand that. With your condition, like you said, your medicine is what pulls you down. When you take medicine like that, I'm not talking about that as far as I know that medicine can make you sleepy. Serge says, I'm from Romania. Well, hello. Lotus says, no, 4 a.m. Olivia says, I find that offensive. Well, you shouldn't. I didn't mean it that way. Olivia says, not really. I'm just pulling your leg. I thought it hurt. 15 people, 44 thumbs up. Sir says, Jesus loves you, man, and he loves you too. Maria says, don't pull his leg. It might get hurt. Yeah, it might. I'll tell you, my legs are fine, but my shoulder, now I'm going to tell you something. This shoulder locks up sometime, and it'll bring tears to my eyes. I have to hold it because it hurts so bad. That's the reason you'll see I try to support this arm, because when Randy and I was working under the car, I can't hardly lift that arm up. My left arm does not work right. Red said, my leg hurts me a lot. I walked a lot today. Popeye says, a lot of people these days lay in bed and play on their phones. I can't do that. Now, when I go to bed, sometimes I'll look at my phone for a little while, but I have to set up. If I lay down or something, I can't look at my phone like that. Olivia said, Lotus, I'd send you those. Lotus, I'd send you those phone. Can you make it into a Pip Boy? Maria said, because you carry heavy stuff, you dumb. You're probably right. I think it's a lot of the bed I sleep in. It's not. I sleep on that arm too, and it really hurts. Rumpel said, history of fractural pops or nerve issue. Not that I know of. I've never been in the hospital. I've never broke a bone or anything. Now, I'm about sure I broke that thumb, but I didn't go to the doctor. It still hurts, and I have no grip in it, but it's healing. Now, I broke a toe or something, but I've never been to the doctor, in the hospital, and I've never had a broken bone that can had a cast or anything like that. Olivia said, if I sent if I send your this phone. Olivia said I could. Olivia said I could. Maria says, I sleep on my stomach. Oh man, if I lay on my stomach, it hurts my back bad. Papa said, oh man, sounds like might get rotary cup surgery. I hope not, but that's probably what it's going towards. Lotus said, I've seen files for that on Thingiverse. Olivia said, actually, Randy said, I think Randy hates doctors. I do. They just, they don't want patients. They want, what do you call them? Customers. Lotus said, yes. Maria says, why you hate us, Randy? Because most doctors wants you to be a customer, not a patient. They don't want you to heal. They want to keep giving you pills and stuff. Lotus said, takes a lot of filament though. D. Herman says, I put my whole intake and everything back together on my Jeep and I heard a terrible sound. Pulled everything apart and Acorn was in one intake. No damage done. Cool. It's a good thing you didn't do no damage, but that's wild. Nat Notch says, would you agree that Sheriff Buford T. Justice of the Texas Highway Patrol was the best to ever wear the badge? Heck yeah. Olivia said, so if you sent this phone with a brand new screen, you can make a fully functional Pip Boy? Maria says, they take too much money. Yes. Rumpel said, same here. Never broke anything. No major issues. Just Malarkey once in childhood and woke your basketball fingers. And I'm blessed to be thin. I actually helps a lot. Yes. like I said, you jam fingers stuff like that, but I've been lucky enough never to break anything and never been in a hospital. Maria says, I agree with you. You see, we do agree on some things. Hazel says, hi, puppy. Lotus says, I can make it look like a pit boy function is the different thing. Olivia says, dang. Jane says, what the hell is pit boy? Lotus says, can you buy pit boys now? It's just, DeRay says, your dog sleeping in the background is too cute. Well, thank you. Maria said, I'm sleeping like king right now. Jace says, hi, I'm back again. Hello, Jace. John Deere says, battery going dead? No, I think somebody's, not mine. Rumpel said, well, it's almost 6 a.m. Pops, take care, everyone. Catch y'all later. See you, Rumpel. Thank you. OD says, I'll already miss you, but my finger still smells a little bit. Lotus says, it's a wrist-worn computer in the game Fallout, Jane. Maria said, I just did emo eyes makeup look. Jace says, I hope you're having a great weekend today. I am. Hope you are, Jace. In God We Poop says, I locked my keys in my car. That's not good. Randy says, I've never broke anything either. Yeah, bullshit. Maria says, emo girl. In God We Poop said, very upsetting. Yes. The Herman says, I dare you to pull the dog's tail. He tries to bite me when I do. Carlos says, I hate depot nurse. She hurts me when she injects me. Sometimes it feels like saying ow. Jane says, take care, Rumpel. And God says, howdy, Randy. Howdy, Jane. Ozzy says, Billy Bill, did you go to church today? No. John Deere says, lucky I ain't broke nothing either. Rumpel says, Randy, hey, I personally interviewed for that tree. Randy said, see you, Rumpel. D. Herman said, bye, Rump. Maria said, R3, the only thing you didn't break is your butt because it can't be broken. Randy says, lol. And God says, howdy, John Deere. Rumpel says, Randy, laters, TC. Randy says, Maria, the tailbone and sacrum are basically my butt. Rumpel said, the Herman, laters, TC. Olivia says, I think you can buy a pimp boy replica, but one that fully functions you have to make yourself. Jane said, off topic, it's just DeRay says, I like your laugh, thank you. Ozzy said, how do I become a member? You go down there and you hit the money sign and it's $4.99 a month. Maria says, no way. Lotus says, you broke a tree. Randy. D. Herman says, be the man and pull that tail. Maria says, no, but no life. Ozzy says, until I get on the wall of Billy Bill's. Burger says, Jesus is the truth. Hell is real. We all sin. He died on the cross to pay for our sins. We buried and rose again the third day. Put your faith in him alone. He'd save you. Trust in what he did for you. Thank you. I read your comment, but we don't do religion in here. Thank you, though. Ozzy said, Schoomadidic. Burger says, hi. Maria says, why you talk so fast? I'm trying to read. I'm getting behind. Lotus said, Hack Smith made a fully functional one. And God said, agree, Burger. Hugh says, I got my 6L80. Yes, all right, Hugh. Olivia says, okay, I avoid watching Hack Smith. Hugh says, hello, Randy. Hello, Hugh. And God said, dude, you guys, I'm sorry if this is gross, but I pooped a turd that was 18 inches. I'm sorry. What the hell are you doing measuring it? Olivia said, they are also making power armor. Randy said, which one of your kids remind you the most of you when you were younger? Probably Randy, and Justin's not far behind. Hugh says, hello, Olivia. Hello, Maria. It's just DeRay says, how old is your Sleeping Beauty dog? 18 months. Lotus said, yes, they are. Popeye said, trivial question. Without people looking up the answer on Google, what the hardest bone in the human body? Jane said, hi, Hugh. Marie said, it's okay if you get behind. It's not the end of the world. I just don't like to get behind. Hugh said, my wife and I and my grandson went to almost Charlotte and got her. Hugh says, hello, Jane. Carlo has been a member for 6 months. Thank you. Hugh says, hello, Pape. Olivia says, have they finished it yet, Lotus? Hugh says, hello, Lotus. Lotus says, 18 inches, them rookie numbers. Hugh said, hello, Carlo. Jane said, Furman. Hugh said, hello, Olivia. And God says, it was unbelievable. I was constipated, so I ate a bunch of fiber and holy shit, it was massive. No pun intended. Okay, I'm sorry. No more poop talk. Thank you. Lotus says, hi, Hugh. 6.2 Bick says, I was here. I said hello, but then I left. Oi, hope all is well with everyone. It is. Hello, Bick. Amy said, this is my favorite people. Yay. Welcome, Amy. Thank you. Livy said, Pape, this is my non-existent wiener. Hugh says, hello, Rumple. Carlos said, what's up, Hugh? Hugh said, hello, Bick. Jane says, oi, Bick. Josh said, go bird. Rich says, why don't you color your eyebrows? Too much trouble. Livy says, hey, Hugh. Reaper says, meow. Hello, Reaper. Lotus says, no way, they're building legs last week. Hugh said, keep your chit to yourself. We don't care. And God said, bark. Lotus said, Super Reaper, what'd she say? Hugh said, hello, Reaper. Jane said, what did she say? John Deere said, what up, Grand Video Bick? Hugh said, what happened? Hello, John Deere. Hello, Joshua. There, caught up. Now, Reaper, what did she say? And how did you do it? And did you have a good day? John Deere said, black screen. Maria says, show us your thumbs. This one, you'll see me mess with it trying to pop it, but I fell in the ice and snow and bent it backwards. And God said, hello, Gran. Hugh said, what happened, Reaper? Hugh said, what happened? John Deere said, okay, here we go. It's back. And God said, sin in Christ. Hugh says, I was naked and on my knees. And God said, dude, I love sandwiches. Reaper said, she looked at me and laughed and then said, yes. Lotus said, woo. Hugh said, she said, yes. And 25 years later, Lotus said, congrats, man. Yes, congratulations. Not sure you should have bought the milk when you were getting it for free, but hey, congratulations. Hugh said, hell yeah, congrats, homie. Hugh said, I told you. And God said, salad and sandwich are my replacement addiction for weed and alcohol. Hugh said, I told you. Reaper said, I think she knew I was going to do it. I'm sure she watches the lives too. Lotus says, are you flying us all to the wedding? Good question, Lotus. I like it. Gran said, so she said, yes. Yes. 19 people, 47 thumbs up. You said, man, that's awesome. 24 people. You said, remember, it's about us now. Hit me, me. Olivia said, well, GTG, baby is sleeping and I need to get him to crib. Ozzy said, if I become a member, will you put combobulator bust on the back of the. If you become a member, I will put whatever you want on the wall. Whatever you ask me to put, we will print it out, and that's what will be put on there. And God, dude, the car show intro was 10 out of 10. Well, thank you. Maria said, did Reaper propose to his girlfriend? Yes, and she said yes. Lotus said later, Olivia. Hugh said yes, and she said yes. Lotus said he did. Olivia said, then eat dinner. Kevin said, I had 2 whole chickens today, brother. Were they cooked? Or were they farm fresh? You had to pick the feathers off of them. Hugh said, man, that's awesome. Ozzy said, can you break down the purpose of a catalytic converter? It just slows it down and stops it up. I think it's a waste of time. Olivia says, bye, Lotus. Hugh says, hello, Kevin. Maria says, oh my God, wow. And God said, I still upset. I locked my keys in my car. I get so Argo, it's kind of intense. Maria said, let's celebrate. That's right. Celebrate, celebrate. Hugh said, man, this is a great day. I got transmission. You got a wife. What a day. Hugh said, lol. Reaper said, man, Dean was so excited when I told him. Hugh said, lol. And God said, I have a short fuse from drug abuse. I got to get a hold of my anger. Yes, you need to work on that. Maria said, Reaper, if you were close to us, I would send you a dancing band. Ozzy said, can you explain to the public what would happen if I slam my car into first gear going 90? If it didn't just strip all the gears out of it, it would just drag the back tires. Or less, depends on front wheel drive, but more likely it would just rip all the teeth off all the gears. Hugh said, we are close to 10,000 miles. That's close. Yeah. With that kind of money, it's close enough. Hugh said, not the moon. Lotus said, a dancing band. That's cool. Yeah. And God said, thankfully, I don't punch or break things. I just scream profanity. Maria said, nobody can stop dancing with Iraqi dancing band. Hugh said, belly dancer, that's what he needs. I think that's what Maria does. Maria says, why don't you dance? Because I got 2 left feet. Hugh said, that's a sexy dancer. Maria said, of course. And God said, pretty meowed in comparison to some. I'll just say, what would happen if I revved my vehicle nonstop while in park? Nothing for a while, but eventually it would probably blow up. Lotus said, nothing. Most cars won't shift while moving. Most new cars won't. The old ones will. Hugh said, Lord, and God said, oh my God, goldfish are so good. Lotus says, boom. Jane said, that's what's a dancing band, Maria? Maria said, I'm still learning belly dancing. Hugh said, I have 2 left and 6 right feet. If I try, I can count the steps. Lord. 22 people, 49 thumbs up. Poppy says, hell, just try it. Drive 90 miles per hour and slam into first gear and drop the hammer. That's right. You said, Shaker, I don't know what that is, belly dancer. Maria said, Jane, a dancing band is some people you hire to come to your wedding so that they'll play music for you to dance, you and dance. Do they dance or they just play the music for you to dance? Reaper said, I can't dance worth nothing. Hugh says, like a DJ wedding band. And God said, I ate retracted his message. Brian says, Are you guys going to do a belly dancing stream? I think that'd be cool. They dance and play music, said Maria. Cool. And God said, I hate the B-E-Y word. I hate the B-E-L-Y. Why? Maria said their job is to make everyone dance. Cool. Ozzy said, y'all blocked me. I didn't. I've not blocked anybody. Not that I know of. I see your message up there about what would happen if I ran a vehicle nonstop in park. That's the last thing you put. Maria says, you still didn't dance. I can't dance. I want to learn how, but I can't dance. Sharks being stupid. Hugh says, and then we dance. Ozzy said, great news. I can learn how to make my timing belt slip. Question mark. Reaper said, now I got to get around to tell the folks. Play said, or just put it in neutral and hold the gas pedal and tell me what happens. Lumpy said, hello, folks. Hello, Lumpy. You said, so don't you dance? Maria said, even simple moves? I probably could. I just, I don't know how. I have followed some people that do these dances that I like where it looks like the top of the body's not moving, but your feet are. And I want to learn that. I want to learn that and video it, put it on the channel, but a lot more happen in warmer weather. This cold stuff's for the birds. Brian said, what's the dog doing? Sleeping. And God says, booby, 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 why I'm spelling the word because I don't want you to say it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say booby. Sorry. Hugh said, not me. Hugh says, I'm a sideline lump. Hugh said, sleepy. And I just said, what would happen if I put diesel fuel in my radiator, cool it? Don't know. I wouldn't suggest it, but hey, if you do, tell us what happened. You said, heat everything and he's full. I think that's called an Irish jig. You said, blow it up after the meltdown. Hugh said, boobies. Jane said, off topic, doesn't want you to say belly. Yeah, I don't understand why you don't want me to say belly, 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 belly. Oh, I thought it was boobies. Shit. Booby word better. I don't like everybody to look at my belly. That's the reason I try to set the camera up, but certain people don't like me to hide behind the cameras. You said they jiggle when they wiggle. It's funny y'all say that something come through one of my feeds of a belly dancer, and I don't see how the hell they move the way they do. I'm not hiding, I promise you. I just like from here up's fine. But anyway, I don't care. Ozzy said, can we have a phone call? I have some questions and requirements. You're experts in how to fix my flux collaborator. After the live. But I done been over and tried to fix that thing for you before. Reaper said, I can't dance, but Annabelle can. She ought to be able to show you how to do then. I want to learn that dance where, like you said, the top part of your body don't look like it's moving, but your feet are moving. I think that is so cool. Ozzy said, is there a good way to get in touch with you? You would probably just have to call the shop at some point. Or email. Email's good. Rita said, I think most belly dancers are Egyptian women. I know one thing. they can damn move. And most Egyptian women, most belly dancers are real skinny. One come through mine the other day that was very overweight, and I would have never believed she could have moved the way she did. Maria said email is no good. Why not? Jane says, "Are you talking about dance jig?" I don't know what it's. I don't know what it's called. I just know that even in the old days they used to do it. Now I know it's done different, but like I said, your feet's just moving like crazy, but your top part's not. I don't know what it's called. Ozzy said, "Great. I think my air hose to my flux carburetor is broken. It takes someone with as much wisdom as you to help fix it. Don't forget the 10mm socket." Rita says, "Yeah, even overweight women can dance, belly dance." Like I said, I'm not being funny, not at all, because, I'm just saying you wouldn't think that people with more weight on them can move the way they did, but it was funny, not funny, but I was impressed. Let's say that. She did a hell of a job. I thought it was cool. And I'm not looking at a sexual point. I just love to watch people dance. Maria says, "I know what you mean." Well, thank you. Because some people try to take it out of content, and I'm not meaning it out of that way. Let me see something here. Me too. I really love watching people dance. I wish I could learn every country tradition dance, said Maria. If I see one here, I'll show you. There's one that I follow that because they do it step by step so you can learn, and I want to learn it. I'm going to end up putting some tape down on the floor and learning it myself. Reaper said, "All right, gotta go. Dean is going to drag me out. Y'all keep it safe and remember to keep it silly." That's right, Reaper. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in. Daryl says, "I'm back." Jane said, "Take care, Reaper." Daryl said, "1 year ago today, you was at my shop, Red." Really? Is that? Dang, I didn't even realize it. Lotus said, "Later, Reaper." This is kind of stuff I like. He said, "Nice." Daryl said, "That was the YouTube live." Lo, he skipped my comment. Well, later, Reaper? Yeah, I'm sorry. I did not mean to, Lotus. I was trying to show what the type of dancing I like. I actually followed that person so they do a thing where they put lines down and show you to move, and I want to learn how to do it. That she does it slowly so you can learn it. Brandon says, "Did y'all cook breakfast this morning and couldn't watch? I had to work." Yes, we did. It was about 1:30, something like that. But we did cook. We did do breakfast. We had a couple. I had a customer this morning, and then we had to fix my daughter-in-law's front tires. She had uh, it looked like staples in each tire. We had to fix that. John Deere said, "Hit the like button, please." Yes. Jane said that girl is dancing like she doesn't have a care. I know. That's what I like. It's so wild. It don't look like she gets tired. Daryl said, Jacob. Maria says, all right, I'm going to sleep. See you next time. See you, Maria. Thank you for stopping in. Must said, free Palestine. I did. They said it was raining. They come back down. We all sat down and eat. And they're out there in the garage right now helping me out working on a car. They seem to like it here. John Deere said, what up, Daryl? No religion, said John Deere. Tiggy Spitty says, I was just at the gym gun range today and let a 5.56 rip. All right. Jane said, good night, Maria. Tiggy Spitty said, got to clean that bitch. That's right. Let her rip, Tater Chip. Jane said, Tiggus. The whole time it's live, my computer has just sat here and skipped around. I've not got. Usually I can watch myself on the computer, but today the internet's so damn bad. John Deere said King knocked out on the couch asleep. He is. He has not moved. I don't think this whole live. Tiggy Spitty says me and Jane just had some fun. Lord, that's right. Look at there, 13 people, 53 thumbs up. Yo, touch my lucky thingy, please. James said, gun range sounds fun. Yeah, I've never been to a gun range. I'd like to go and try it sometime. Tyler said, cheers from Michigan. Well, hello, Tyler. Hope all is well. John Deere said, what? That's what she said. Ha ha. Tiggy Spitty said, I was shooting darts. James said, hi, Tyler. 15 people, 53 thumbs up. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Thank you. I do appreciate it. James said, little darts. Tiggy Spitty says, it's a game in the dartboard called Around the World. Tyler said, it's all good. I hope all is well with you, and hello, chat. Good day to you all. Hello, Tyler. Thank you, and I appreciate you stopping in. If you haven't done it, hit that like button for me, please. Hugh said, man, don't settle. If you want it, go get it. I agree. What are we talking about? What are we going to get? Daryl says, Hugh, congratulations, bud. You said, I never thought I'd ever have a LS3/6 L80E. I started and hoped. Hey, that's exactly right. I see what you're saying now. That's what we say here. We never thought we would have ever done what we're doing right now. And we still got our problems, don't get me wrong, but we are, I'm living my dream right now. I just hate that we can't do more. I want to do a lot more. I'm trying to get things going faster than I can because I don't have the time or the money, but I really want things to go better and faster. Hugh said, hello, Daryl. You said, go get it. Never let no one tell you you never ever. That's right. If you want it, go for it. Don't stop having a dream. You said, it takes time and money, and we have very little of both. That's exactly right. We can still make it happen. That's right. You said, driveway engineer said my car would be on stands till I sold it. Hey, that's fine. Show them this. They're not right. I'm King. Said, where's the beer? I don't know. I guess still at the store. We don't drink that nasty shit. You said, I said, you think you tell me I can't? I'll show you. Daryl said, Rob gave me a drive shaft for the burnout car today. I'll cut it down this week. You said, Mama always said, tell him he can't. You will be, Paul's pussed. You said, that's awesome, Daryl. You said pissed. I thought that's what you meant. I figured the autocorrect changed it. It don't like you talking like that, Hugh. Hugh said autocorrect hates me. I know what you mean. I got you. You said hit T? You said like button peeps. Yeah, we stuck at 53, so that's fine. It's we got 1 minute. Daryl's premiere be coming up. Let me turn this thing around. Like I said, we do have 1 minute here. Lotus says goodnight all. Hugh says, man, it's been a wild ride. That's right. But hey, the fun's just starting. You're getting it now. It's getting it all together. Daryl said peace. Daryl, I will have it on here on both channels and everything, but I do got something I got to do right after the live. So I'll have it on and playing, but I will not be able to be in. I'll say hi to everyone, but that's about all I'll be able to do for tonight. Hugh says, have an awesome night. Jane said, take care all. Hugh said, rolling over. See y'all soon. Deuces. Let's see. John Deere said, bye-bye. Good night. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for coming in. I do appreciate it. And remember, keep it silly. Thank y'all. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See y'all.